They have been doing so many things from so many years. And as I said, that when I said Toyofuku-san is coming, somebody said, oh, he's a celebrity. So yeah, we got someone celebrity here as well. So we'll be starting from Toyofuku-san. Toyofuku-san, you said like you are vegetarian. So totally different topic, but I think when it comes to people connect, it really means a lot. You are vegetarian. So why are you vegetarian? A Japanese is vegetarian. Can you imagine? I was like, what? So why are you vegetarian and what made you to turn into vegetarianism?
Nepal-san, thank you very much. It's too much introduction for me. So first of all, I have to explain why I became vegetarian. It is 20 years back when I first come to India, I start learning yoga. Then my yoga teacher was very good yoga teacher. So then after 3 months, so she suggested you should change your food habit. Then before that, I was a normal Japanese people, non-vegetarian. But I promised to her, my yoga teacher, I try vegetarian for 1 month. After that, I will observe myself. Then 1 month's time, I continue the vegetarian. Then I come to know, I realized vegetarian is good for me. So since then, for 20 years, I was vegetarian. Yes. So it was a great learning from India. Then I think the most of my life was completely changed. And the whole of my family now become vegetarian. So I was very happy about this one. And one more thing I would like to explain. Then I started the yoga 20 years back. Then after 4 years of practice, a yoga teacher invited me as an instructor in yoga channel in India. It is in GTV from 5 a.m. Yoga channel was there. So I was one of the instructor. So teacher didn't perform the asana, but the 2 of instructor perform in this TV program. So I was one of this. So, but this is very tough job. This is 1 hour program. So that's why every week I have to go to Noida Film City. And the shooting is 5 hours continuously. So after that, yeah, I like yoga, but the 5 hours continuous yoga is exhausted for me a lot. Yes. Yes, but yeah, since then I continue yoga every morning. Today also from 6 o'clock I perform yoga. But it is a good habit. So India learned a lot for me. So that's why I'd like to contribute a little bit for India. So I learned a lot. Many benefits come from India side. So then I think in the economic point of view, today's theme was how to tie up India and Japan in the business and the economy startup like this. So 3 weeks back, I was in Japan. It was very, very cold. It was very cold. So one day snow falling in Tokyo. So then in Haneda Airport, many tourists come and together with the ski and the snowboard. Now many tourists is visiting Japan. Maybe most of the people know about this one. One of the reasons is currency exchange rate. Now Japanese yen is very weak. So it is now I think the 155 yen equal $1. So when I joined the Japanese government in 1993, at that time currency exchange rate was 80 yen equal $1. It is almost all double, half. Yeah. So then this currency exchange rate is related to today's story. Oh. So then 1993, Japanese yen was so much appreciated. At that time, many of Japanese small, medium-scale enterprises cannot continue the manufacturing in Japan. because they cannot export under the currency exchange rate $1 80 yen. So that's why what we have done is how to support financially small and medium-sized enterprise in Japan. This is my first job in Japanese government. So after that, in last 30 years, more than 30 years, Japanese government, especially today, I would like to focusing on small and medium-scale agencies. They try to expand the business for foreign countries. Many of the SMEs is already invested in other countries. First, they went to the ASEAN countries like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, like this. So do you know now in Thailand, how many Japanese companies is operating? Now it is 6,000 Japanese companies operating in Thailand. Yes. In terms of the population, Thailand is the same size of one state government state in India, even though 6,000 Japanese companies operating. Compared to this, in India is 1,500 Japanese company only. What is the difference of 6,000 and 1,500? Maybe you know many of Japanese famous companies, Toyota and many Daikin, many companies already started activity in India, but the difference is small and medium-sized enterprises. Then I think that one of the today's agenda is in future, what relationship will grow and change between India and the Japan business. I hope many of Japanese small and medium-sized companies will come to India. This is the future. So I think that compared to South Korea also big economy. Hyundai, Samsung, LG, semiconductor, many industries available. But the biggest difference between South Korea and Japan is the SMEs. So around 12 years back, I had a post in government of India. So they called the Japan Plus. The main role of the Japan Plus in government of India is how to support Japanese SMEs in India. Then South Korea, every time follow Japan. Then South Korea embassy come to me. We would like to set up the Korea Plus in government of India. Then we finally found the Korea Plus in government of India. Then after that they come to me. What job we have to do in Korea Plus in government of India? Then I explain. I have to support the Japanese SMEs. Of course, Japanese big companies can operate by themselves without the support, but the SMEs require the support. This is the main role of Japan Plus in government of India. So, however, what Korean embassy said to me, in Korea, Samsung, LG, Hyundai is very famous, but the SMEs is not so much compared to Japan. This is the big difference of the Japan and the South Korea economy. So that's why the presence of the SMEs is a mainstream and the backbone of Japanese economy. So that's why in future, how to invite, how to accelerate the Japanese SMEs to coming to India. This is the very important topics. I think that this community, many of the people already have the bridge between India and Japan. Everybody should focus how to accelerate the Japanese SMEs to come to India. So I want to propose the two, I think, the idea in today's, I think, the discussion. First one, I observed 20 years back and 15 years back, many Chinese companies received the contract manufacturing from Japanese SMEs. Japanese SMEs have the great technologies, so they have the R&D function, they have the good innovation and the good technology is available. However, human resource and the capital is not sufficient. So that for they have the good technologies and the good product they have, they will ask the Chinese counterpart to provide a license to manufacture this product in China. So after that, so unfortunately, many of Chinese companies copied this product and they start manufacturing on their brand. But India is totally different. So if possible, India is a growing market. Now, many of Japanese companies focusing on the Indian market in future. So now is a chance to get the contract manufacturing from Japanese SME to Indian companies. This is the one of the starting point how to invite the Japanese SMEs in India. So after this contract manufacturing going well, then as a next step, Japanese SMEs will invest in India and start and growing up the business in India. So that point, please remember the one word, I think the contract manufacturing from the Japanese SMEs. This is a keyword from myself. Thank you so much.
So contract manufacturing.
Yes.
Contract manufacturing. That should be the highlight today. So we are going to Deepak ji. Deepak ji, you have been today we saw Bhargava-san here, and I think you have grown up seeing him, and not only that, and your own LUMAX, where you started, I think almost 40 years ago, Senior Jain, and Jain sir, he started, and you are running it so successfully. So then there are many who are really every day they write to me, how to do business with Japanese. We want to do business with Japanese. I think you are the best person to tell them that how and what to do.
And Prasant, first and foremost, congratulations on the Rising Sun Conclave 3. I think it's also my third time that I'm coming in here, so it's incredible to see your efforts towards this whole Japan and India partnership. Toyofuku-san, thank you for giving us this always words of wisdom. If I may just introduce myself, I'm actually in the auto component manufacturing space. Obviously, that's why when Chairman R.C. Bhargava was speaking, I was also not just elated, but there was a lot of emotional connect because I know him, or he knows me since I was born, so almost about 50 years now. Looking in just terms of manufacturing, looking in terms of the opportunity, and again, I'll just pick up the lead from two things. First, what Toyofuku-san said is very important, that how do you actually promote this whole India-Japan partnership? And one way he proposed was contract manufacturing, especially SMEs. Now, if you do rewind the auto industry, just say 50 years from now, it's actually 82, 83 when Suzuki and Government of India made Maruti Suzuki. At that point of time, there was also another company, Hero and Honda, made Hero Honda. And both of them made partnerships. Fortunately, Hero and Honda both together are #1 companies in their own right. Hero remains #1 in basically India. Maruti Suzuki is #1. But what happened to the next level? Toyofuku-san talked about SMEs, or the MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises. I think every one of us was a startup. My father, when he actually would have started with Maruti Suzuki, it was a startup, it was MSME. But what was a differentiator today and of yesterday is that these big OEMs, these big manufacturers, actually held hand of these tier ones or the MSMEs, and they actually, with their growth journey, they gave them the partnership, they got them the collaboration, and then they actually grew with them as well. And today I would say they would probably become at least large or medium-sized businesses from a global point of view. I think that responsibility today needs to be repetitive, again, from a tier 1 to other basically tier 2, tier 3, which are MSMEs. And I think that's an excellent idea with contract manufacturing goes in, because Japanese usually do a lot of step-by-step approach. But India, the market, the way it's growing, the way it is agile, I think we'll need to do a lot more partnership collaboration, at least when it comes to industrialization or manufacturing. I think I'll just conclude by saying, in terms of partnership, Nuprasan, you asked me that, what do you do with partnerships? Again, I think we were very lucky, we were very fortunate that we had the, let's say, the governance and the oversight of these large manufacturing companies, large automotive companies, which have global experiences. And they actually, when started in India, they could actually tell us where to get collaborations, how to basically manufacture for quality, how do you basically do that. I think today, when it looks in terms of partnership, I think we, let's say my group, which I represent, we have about 14 international partnerships, all doing auto component spaces, different product lines. Of the 14, we have 6 Japanese partnerships now. The longest Japanese partnership is now 44 years. The youngest Japanese partnership is about a year and a half. And in that whole paraphernalia of partnerships, I think one thing which is extremely consistent is the need of manufacturing trust. I think Bhargav Saab also spoke about relationship. You know, it is a trust. It's not about, Japan and India, it's not about contracts. When you do partnerships with America, with Europe, it's about contracts first. You have lawyers working on contracts. Here it's about relationship, how you make trust. Maybe for the Gen Zs, it's called the vibe. They say, okay, fine, this is what I'm feeling today. And it is a lot of communication. And if I may use a lighter word, it's nominication, because with Japanese, you know, there's a lot of basically free flow of talk happens over dinner tables and dining tables. Well, I didn't want to say that, but I'm a Jain, remember. But I think more important, as I say, that it's been consistent through our policy manufacturing that all the relationship what we made with Japanese, it's built on trust. And trust does not come over 1 meeting, 2 meetings. It comes with consistent performance. And also, it comes with true character. So we've had partnerships where we have said, we don't have common objectives, but we said, okay, fine, then we will not partner. And I think the Japanese and Indians respect that nowadays. Just to give you an anecdote, we have a very strong partnership running for now 2 years. This company, and I'll just share with you how it started. Before making a true joint venture partnership, I basically happened to just visit Japan and was introduced in some forum like this by another partner of mine to this gentleman. And he said, listen, I like you and all. And every time I used to go to Japan, which was quite often, I used to have dinners with him. This went on for about 7 to 8 years. And in 9th year, he basically called me and he said, listen, you know, our company has decided to come and enter India market. I want to partner with you. And I said, do due diligence, do something, or you know, you're doing a feasibility study or whatever you want to do it. He said, no. I know you for 9 years. I trust you. You have some experience with the Japanese partners. I'm going to do it with him. The company is about $15 billion globally. And I said, are you sure about it? And he said, yes. And we're running a very successful partnerships, which is there for the last 2 years. So it's the trust, and you never know in these kind of very immersive forums, you might basically get the right partner to do basically business. So thank you once again for this opportunity, and really appreciate it, and all the very best to you.
So the finding the right partner, I think this is all about, I think even the marriage also like that, you know, otherwise divorce happen. So I think it is also the JV also same, I think doing the business, I think.
She said the partnership. I'm again arranged marriage. There is not love marriage. I'm married 23 years. But I think again the consistency of partnership irrespective of arrange or love is actually build the trust every year, year on year. And I think it works with business partnerships of this. So I think that's very important, and I think that's my key message today.
So that is also arranged marriage with the JV, kind of. You are arranging. So yeah. So now we will go to we have an Economist, and he's often in Republic TV, so I'm sure many of you know that Dr. Basu is here. And so what is your view about India-Japan? Because you have also written a book on this, and you are recently working a lot on this. So we'd love to hear from you.
Well, I think India and Japan are perfect complements of each other. In some ways, I wish that we were more like Japan, just like R.C. Bhargava just told us. I lived outside India for 33 years, and the thing that really struck me when I came back, I love my country, I love to be back, I love Delhi. But the one thing that struck me more than anything was that every time you go on an off-ramp from a highway, there are cars coming from the other side. I mean, this is something that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. It happens. So what we lack completely as a nation, sadly, is discipline. It completely is absent. So discipline and cleanliness are the two exact opposites in India relative to Japan. Japan is the epitome of discipline and cleanliness. So I think in terms of the relationship, what we really would need to imbibe is the discipline and cleanliness of Japan. And it's in our culture. Our history, our legacy includes almost everything that Japan has, except that we've had, 800 years of foreign rule, and we have a slave mentality, we have a mentality of cutting corners, etc. So I think re-establishing dharma, the moral basis of nationhood and of our cultural relations is something that we would really need to learn from Japan. But more broadly, I think that the opportunity now with Takaichi-san as the new Prime Minister of Japan, with a 75% majority between her and the Japan Innovation Party, plus basically the parliament is almost entirely right-wing, which gives, I think, a huge opportunity to deepen collaboration between India and Japan on the economy. So if you just think about what she is planning to do, people think of her as a Thatcherite. She is not. She actually wants to have very active industrial policy. And among the areas of focus are semiconductors and AI, which is, of course, an area of focus for us as well. But we are babes in the woods with regard to semiconductor manufacturing. We have a lot of semiconductor design knowledge and expertise in this country, but in terms of manufacturing, we're just starting out. And Japan was one of the pioneers. In the 1980s, the Americans took a lot of pains to destroy Japan's semiconductor industry, but didn't entirely succeed. Japan remains a leading player in semiconductor equipment, and therefore the partnership between India and Japan here is natural. And similarly with AI, I mean, it's a frontier technology. We are both engaged in trying to use that opportunity as best we can. India, of course, has created a 21-year tax-free period for data centers and cloud computing in this year's budget. So there is an opportunity there for collaboration between India and Japan. And in a very broad sense, Japan has an abundance of capital. If you think about the Japanese economy for the last 35 years, Japan has had a consistent current account surplus, which basically means they need to export capital to the world. India is a fast-growing economy. We have a small current account deficit. We need to import capital. And so there's a natural fit between Japan and India here. We also have an abundance of people of every skill level. And Japan, of course, has a demographic transition going on. The population has been shrinking for several years, more than a decade, and will continue to shrink on current trends to perhaps half of what its current size is in 50 years' time. So there is a natural fit again, because India has the people of every skill level to partner with Japanese capital in creating jobs for those millions in India, using Japanese capital and technology, including, of course, with the SMEs of Japan. And I think the fact that there are 6,000 SMEs operating in Thailand and only 1,500 in India is really stark. And part of that is also that the big Sogo Soshas of Japan haven't had as deep an engagement in India yet. The big, the big companies like Toyota, Mitsubishi are latecomers in India. The early players were Honda, not cars, but Honda motorcycles and Suzuki cars. But the discipline, the discipline that Suzuki's plants, the Maruti plants in Haryana had, I think was part of what made them really attractive. They were very attractive employers because they paid better, and they had a system that was remarkably effective. And of course, they brought their vendors along as well. The vendors did joint ventures with the likes of LUMAX to essentially transfer technology because it became the natural thing to do. And so there are those opportunities. And then another area that Takaichi-san is focusing on is biotechnology. And again, that dovetails beautifully with what we are focused on in our, in this year's budget. Biopharmaceuticals got a big focus. We are very good at generic drugs manufacturing. We haven't done too well on drug discovery. Japan wants to do more with drug discovery. And there is a natural complement. We have a lot of scientific brain power in this country that can use that as well. So, do I have more time? Or
Sure, but we will come back to you also again.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing about what made Japan succeed.
Let's talk that in a second.
Lessons for now.
Okay.
So what enabled Japan to succeed was very active industrial policy, and it started with Abe-san's grandfather, in fact,
Nobusuke-san.
Kishi-san. And then before that, there was, I think most people don't realize that there was somebody called the Keynes of Japan, Takahashi Korekiyo in the 1930s. Before Keynes, 5 years before Keynes wrote his book, Keynesian policies enabled Japan to begin its process of industrialization very rapidly in 1931. And it was Takahashi Korekiyo, who is called the Keynes of Japan, but he died, he was assassinated 2 months before Keynes' book came out. So I think Keynes, in a normal world, should have been called the Takahashi of the West. But anyway, now the point is that Japan has been a pioneer, and it is a pioneer that we have a great deal to learn from. I think with great humility, we should build a deeper relationship, a deeper bond of partnership between our two complementary economies, where we have labor at every skill level that can marry the capital that Japan has, and we can also build a technology partnership where both sides contribute equally, and build a bond that is mutually beneficial.
Thank you so much, and definitely so well explained. And I'm sure you took us to the history also, not only today, but 1930s thing you talked about, which actually many people they don't know. But I could hear that Neha is saying yes. I think she knows it because she takes people there. It's a tourism. Both of them are from. So I think they will come to the Markus. And before that, I would like to ask Neha that you're very young and you have started your Love Japan, the company, which is. So how do you find, because you already had your husband's company and everything, but you thought that this is something different I want to do, and you are the pioneer of it. So why did you think that? Because many people think that Japan is not a very easy country, but you thought that this is something I want to do, Love Japan. So you'd love to know your experience, because there are many who, as you know, that as you are doing, that booming the Japanese tourism, and you are making a lot of money. I'm sure about it. I'm just kidding. So we would love to know if you just can explain why did you choose Japan?
Okay, so thank you, Nupur-san, and thank you all these distinguished panelists, and thank you for all of you. Before I start to speak, can we all please stand up for 1 minute and just say, because I think all of us have some love for Japan here. We all do, right? I really want everybody to stand, shake themselves up, and just say, I love Japan, and go back down.
That's her company.
So we just go on count of 3. I love Japan. So 1, 2, 3. I love Japan. Thank you very much. So this was to wake up the room.
No, that's a marketing.
Well, I don't need a why anymore for Japan. I truly love Japan, and I don't think you need a why for love. You just love. So that answers your question really fast, why I love Japan. Yes, my company is 15 years old. My husband founded it. I joined him 13 years ago. And I Love Japan is a 9-year-old brand. Why I Love Japan came into the business despite of being an established travel company specializing in outbound tours from India is because there was space. There was a need for specialization there. How, we've had our panelists mention about the need for contract manufacturing. There is space there. There is still space in semiconductors and in AI. There is still space in travel. So why I got into Japan is because there was space to grow. There was the need to have people understand the real Japan and travel to Japan for Japan, not because we are Indians and we want to just go and make an India out of it, but because we want to see Japan in its true beauty. So my purpose of I Love Japan is truly to show the real Japan and make people feel the real mindfulness, the real beauty of Japan, and bring some back to India and make India a more better place. So.
Thank you so much. Yes, we love. I love Japan is small. We love Japan, right? We love Japan, definitely. And now finally coming to Markus-san, who has been doing this tourism, people-to-people connect from so many years. He worked for different companies, and now he has, established that Asahi Travel, and which is actually making so much money I cannot even tell you. So you will scold me after this, I know. So, yes. Please tell me about that. Why do you think, why did you choose? Because, you take so many people to different Buddhist destination, which is actually very, very, it's not unique, but very uniquely you started, when you started. And I think that was one of the things that you did. You started with taking them to Buddhist destination. So you'd love to know that how did you start from Buddhist destination and your, what do you think between India-Japan tourism future?
Thank you, Nupur. Thank you for today, and this is good. Yes, I'm making a lot of money, and she knows because I give so much donation to her, so she understands by that. Thank you very much. My name is Markus, and my company's name is Asahi Travel Service, which means the Rising Sun. Same name. The Rising Sun is called Asahi in Japanese. Actually, I learned Japanese by chance, long back. Exactly 50 years before. I passed in 76 Japanese language, and somehow I topped in India. So Japan Foundation invited me to Japan. So I traveled first time in
76 you completed your Japanese language?
Yes.
Okay.
I started in 74
okay.
and completed 3 years. Yeah. 77 when I traveled to Japan, that time I was 23 years old. Young.
So now people can calculate how old he is.
So that was the reason. It was by chance I learned. I wanted to learn French language, but I could not. And somehow I got admission in Japan because it was free those days, and they needed a student. So I traveled to Japan, and 77 Japan was something different than India, of course. And in Japan also, it was called bubbly. Before bubbly, they were very. They used to use money a lot during that time. So that time I stayed in Shinjuku. the building where KO Plaza Hotel, I was staying at 45th floor. And in India, we had just 23 floors high building. So comparison was totally different. And I loved that country. I loved in that that time. And I wanted to use my Japanese language. I'm actually from this area only. I also used to do yoga in Lodi Garden only. I studied nearby Dayal Singh College. From there, I have done my graduation in 75. So this area, I used to run every morning, Lodi Garden. So I'm not doing yoga these days. And first talk was there that he is a vegetarian. And actually, Nupur asked for the meals for today's lunch, that what you are going to eat. I said strictly non-vegetarian and no water. You got my message, no?
Wine and the non-veg.
So it is like that. So it is different. Yes, of course. After that, I came to the travel agency. I joined travel agency. They got my name from my school, and then I joined the #1 company that time, TCI, Travel Corporation of India. And I started working in Japanese department. From the very beginning, means going to the airport, receiving client, and then taking them around like that. But there I worked 14 years, and I become the expert. Today, actually, I'm meeting so many people, Bhargav sir and everybody. 1982, when Suzuki first time came, he took, our company was having contract. I used to take care of their all staff, and they were used to stay at Samrat Hotel. So I remembered all that, Bhargav san and all that. And after that, Suzuki also brought 3,000 people in 2005. So I handled that also. So that is a connection today I'm watching. Yes, all 3 ambassadors, I worked with them in Japan for that. So I worked during that time, and then I'm Christian. I never traveled to Buddhist sector, but during my training, I had to go to Buddhist sector. You know, Buddhist sector is only in India, except one, Lumini is in Nepal. Otherwise, all places are in India. So it is a very important factor for foreign tourists. You can't find it anywhere else. Ayodhya, you cannot find anywhere else. Like Israel, Bethlehem, you cannot find anywhere else. So they have to come. They used to come a lot during that time, and I used to travel with them only. I have traveled 300 times in Buddhist sector. So all top priests, all temples, they used to come in big groups, means 200 or 300 people like that. Nowadays, they are not coming. But just day before yesterday, I had one group, and they went back. Very few Buddhist tourists are coming to India. We have very big potential for tourism. Tourism, what our Prime Minister is saying, that we want to give job. It is one of the place, one of the thing, smokeless industry hai. It can give jobs to many and to the interior. So we are actually, at the moment, we have a lot of potentials, but we are not giving good, we are not thinking about it, and so many policies are not there. And from Japan also, lot of tourists can come. But these days, as he mentioned, that Japan exchange rate is little bit difficult, so it is higher to come to travel to India and to other countries, so they are getting few. And we are getting more. Like Neha is handling, and I am also handling now Indian tourists to Japan. Actually, our Prime Minister went there in 2014. I met him that time also. And 2015, we got visa relaxation during Abe's time. So they plan, Japan planned how to get tourism. And they planned, and till that time, they were having their export, #1 is by cars. But nowadays, it is tourism, from where they are getting their foreign exchange. India can also do it. We can do it. We have so much potentials. We have Buddhist sectors, we have heritage sites, we have culture, we have dance, everything is here. But we are not thinking properly, we are not giving good direction to get tourism.
Or maybe we are not disciplined or organized.
Actually, Japanese loves this. They are tired of discipline there. So when they come here and they see these things, they enjoy. Actually, yes, this is my experience. Yeah.
30 years this year.
So that is my experience. They want to see something different. We also want to see different. We want to go there and see that, how disciplined they are, because we are not here. So people love the different things. It can be good or bad, but different things everybody likes. So when the Japanese comes, I saw that some girls throw some paper from the open window of a train, and they were giggling and clapping that they have done something throughout their life they have not done, and they have done that. So that is also, we have to see the points. I travel with Japanese. I have to show them the best things of India and what is our culture and why. They are very happy. Of course, we have beggars. You see beggars everywhere and the small children and all that. But they notice, they observe that they are always smiling. If you give them money or not, when the bus goes, they will all waves. So that thing they cannot understand in Japan, that you don't have anything with you, but even then you are happy, you are smiling. So these things, I always explain that bad or good is not there, it is always different. So we have something different, you see it. You come to see, you come to enjoy that, what is different. So that is what if we promote at the moment. Of course, we should be better, we should be more clean, we should be more disciplined. And now trains are coming. It never used to come on time when I was traveling 30 years before or 40 years before. So I have to make jokes and all that. So sometime train comes on time. So the Japanese are also surprised that why it is coming on time. I said it is 24 hours late. It is yesterday's train coming today. So that's the way we used to cover so many things. And only Indian foods were there. So now policies are there. We can have Japanese hotels. We should have Japanese hotels. We are getting Japanese restaurants these days, a lot of Japanese restaurants. So there is a big potential through tourism side of having a hospitality sector. There's so much chances are there. We should promote that one, and we should not I'm always happy with my country and I'm always proud of my country as it is. So I want to show what is the better things in India, and I think we should also promote same things.
Thank you so much. So now, what do you think about Deepak ji, that should we improve here? Like he said that Japanese come here and enjoy that relaxation. So do you think freedom? Do you think that we should encourage that or just become more Japanese?
I think I've just been learning a lot just listening to all of you. And I think if you're saying, I think India is unique anyways, right? I mean, you can't compare apple to apples, right? It's basically Japan, you just can't compare to India, per se. You just look at the geographical square footage, compare the population, it's like even less than some of our states here. So the complexities of India is very different. The diversities of India is different, right? We are not monolinguistic, we are multi-races. I mean, so many things which comes in. I think the key factor is that where do you find a common point between Japan and India? Right, and I think I loved your point that probably this whole diverse experience and looking from a tourist point of view is great. I don't want to go to another foreign country and come and land into same experiences in India. I want to have different experiences. So I think that's a very, very valid point. But fundamentally, I think Japan and India, if we are looking at culture, there are too many similarities, but the experiences are very different. When I go to Japan, I want to experience certain cultural things which are not there. Onsen. I mean, you want to basically do onsen. There is a way, or there's a Japanese way to basically do things in Japan, right? And as a foreigner, you may have certain, I would say, even restrictions, inhibitions, or limitations to do that. So I remember I had some Japanese friends. I said, listen, let's go this area, because as a foreigner, you may not be able to allow to this thing. So I think there are multiple aspects of it. I only think that the engagement, I think also I agree to one point. I think we need to have a structured way to promote tourism. Because with tourisms, there is inclusive growth. With tourism, there's also eventually this whole cultural exchange automatically. And I think Japan's done it a very structured way. And we don't do it in that structured way, right? So that's the only thing. When I visited Japan 1994, 95, I went through an AOTS program. It was a beautifully structured program. And if I were to say, okay, AOTS had it in India, but was it an equivalent of that time, AOTS in India? I still don't think there are too many structured programs which promotes to come through. So that's just what.
So I have a question to Toyofuku-san. Toyofuku-san, when you were here, you became vegetarian. But vegetarians they go to in Japan, they find it very much problem. Of course, it is very much related to tourism also. So what would you like to say?
Yes. So I think the last 2-3 years, the vegetarian restaurant is increasing in Japan. Yeah, and of course, many tourists also coming. I think but every time when I visit Japan, I'm visiting the vegetarian restaurant, but most of the customer is Japanese people, not foreigners. So that's why this is related to tourism. Now many Japanese people show interest. It is not the medical tourism. India has the great culture of Ayurveda, yoga, homeopathy, vegetarian cultures. If Deepak-san already mentioned, if we can make the attractive tourism, I think the package for Japanese people, it is related to not the medical tourism, it is yoga, Ayurveda, vegetarian food, such types of package, how to improve the health condition for the Japanese people, and additionally, how to improve the mental condition for Japanese people. If such types of tourism can manage, I think many Japanese people will participate.
Yes, please.
Toyofuku-san, maybe obviously I just want to share this. Last year, Suzuki Motor Corporation, Suzuki the company, basically launched Indian curry, 5 versions of it, all vegetarians,
Yes.
in basically Japan. And I don't know how many millions you have basically sold already.
Yes.
The chef who basically is devising it, he actually came to India last week. And he was trying to basically see the back end coming in from India and still basically do it. So I'm just looking at, it's not just a vegetarian, just the way they've made innovation. An automobile company is trying to basically promote vegetarian Suzuki curry. And I do believe that Honorable Prime Minister is scheduled to visit in 2027 to Japan. And one of the missions was for the Japanese person who's doing that I want to make a vegetarian-only restaurant in Japan and invite our Honorable Prime Minister during that point. So that's his vision in 2027, or not vision, mission for like a small purpose. I just thought I'd just share that.
That's really fantastic.
You know, the curry is, if you go to Tokyo, you find curry restaurants. But curry was probably introduced to Japan by an Indian revolutionary called Raj Bihari Bose. He started a restaurant called the Nakamura restaurant, which still exists.
But
His descendants still run it.
That's chicken curry.
No, but it was curry. It was of course. And the other interesting aspect is that I was surprised to learn when I first went to Japan. My colleague told me that the Japanese didn't eat beef until 1888, 20 years after the Meiji Restoration. So just like we had a prohibition on beef, the Japanese didn't eat beef either. And they started eating beef in order to become big and tall like the Westerners, one of the factors. But 100 years later, in 1988, when there were negotiations between Japan and the US on trade, the Americans wanted to open the beef market in Japan. And Japan's argument was that Japanese intestines can only process Kobe beef. So in 100 years, their intestines had evolved enough to only be able to process Kobe beef. Anyway,
So that's a curry
lighthearted
story.
response.
That's a curry story.
But by the way, I'm from a part of India where we eat mainly fish. But it's, of course, very cooked fish. So I love Japanese food. I mean, when my parents went to Japan for the first time, the year after you did, they couldn't deal with the food because it's all uncooked fish. I said, but it's fish. And, so I wish they'd known how to do it, because sashimi and sushi are just gorgeous. I think in India, you have young people loving that stuff as well. So that'll help. That'll help the tourism.
Yeah. But that is also very related to tourism. But again, the concept of sushi, sashimi is not that much, I would say, sushi, and that is roll sushi. That is not really sushi. Yeah. So that's I love, and it is kind of, I'm so sorry, it is kind of fashion, It's like a status symbol in India. And I'm not saying I'm not against it. It's great. But it's like, hey, my daughter, son, they love sushi. What kind of sushi? That's sushi, So, that's kind of roll sushi there in India. So, yeah. Would you like to say something?
Just a very different point of view. And this is what is interesting. I think all of us on the panel, I'm sure everyone in the audience has experienced Japan in some way. I'll just tell a story. And I'm talking about curry now. So I took my nephew last year, who was gone first time to basically to Japan. And he's about 23. And first time when he visited, he had, as I said, had the curry. And it was a Japanese standardized curry. Then after that, he had a curry with a beer. So he had that, and he came back and said, how do you like it? So he said, and he observed this, and I think it was, again, very insightful for me. I would have never thought about it. He said, Japanese are so standardized. Anywhere part of the Japan you go, you say, I want a curry. It's the same curry flavor. It's the same rice. It's the same portion with the same this thing. Even he's observed that even if I had beer, any part of Japan, and he traveled quite extensively, he said it would be the same temperature. It would be same froth to basically the body ratio. And his observation was that in India, you go to have a potato curry also, and you go to aunt's house or mother's house or someone else's house, it'll be very different because it's not about potato curry, it's the way make it unique. And the beer, the first time the server will come to a restaurant, he'll say, well, please touch it and feel it, because as an Indian, you either want it extra cold or warm or whatever it is. So I think India is that uniqueness is non-standardization. But Japan is so standardized. And maybe that's why when these two cultures emerge, there is an opportunity, but also this whole differentiation, which basically people enjoy around it.
Absolutely. Here, if you go to Tokyo, one school, and if you go to one countryside, one school, I'm talking about high school or elementary school, you will find them same. So uniformed there. Everything almost. So that is Japan. But I think we will go to the people who, has question for our panelist. Yes, ma'am. Anyone can give the mic. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Meenu Kumar, and I'm heading a Japanese NGO. I have been associated from 2001, right from the inception of it. And we are in 41 countries with our headquarters in Tokyo. And so we have been doing a lot of activities here. I also run an art gallery where also I promote Indian and Japanese art. So we have been in touch with Mr. Markus for many years for getting our delegates from Japan to India and from India to Japan, both ways. And he, in fact, made us explore Japan the right way, I would say. So congratulations to him, and I would love to thank him for the same. And ISCA International, as we are also doing a project in Varanasi, that is we are developing it on the lines of Kyoto City of Japan. And we are in talks with PMO, and it's a huge, huge project that we are doing there. And what I want to ask you, or what I want to say is that when Japanese come to India, they love it. When we go to India, we go to Japan, we also enjoy it. Here we have pakora, they have tempuras. And even when they come here, we try to explain them the dal. A lot of things are being said about the food. That we said it's a black dal simmered overnight. And the gentleman said, oh, dal makhani. So they know our dishes better than we do. So, but then how to expand it even further? I keep getting a lot of queries from the people around who want to visit Japan, and let us make it happen in a big way so that more and more people can visit Japan, and likewise from Japan we can get more visitors to India. Just
Thank you. Actually, yes, when we goes, I am handling maximum Indians going to to Japan, and they, as they mentioned that vegetarian food is there. We had initial problems to arrange vegetarian food, but now there are so many vegetarian restaurants, and Indians, Jainis, and even Gujaratis, they can enjoy their food. But I am against it. I said if you are coming to Japan, enjoy Japanese food. They don't enter Japanese restaurant because of the smell of fish and all that. So you cannot enjoy Japanese food unless you see it. Japanese don't eat with their tongue and all that. They eat with their eyes. Their presentation is best. You go there and see their presentation, that is Japanese food. But our Indians do not go for that. So what I thought, that I will give presentation Japanese, but material will be Indian food. So miso soup, I can give them dal. And for rice, I can give them plain rice. And the yakitori and all that. Presentation will be Japanese style, and it was a hit. They liked it very much. They want to see it. They want to take a photograph of that, but they don't go to Japanese restaurants. So that is there. We have to compromise, and we have to see that nowadays many people are asking to eat Japanese food. So this is going to change. Of course, it takes time, but it will be changing. And actually, tourism is the one which can create world peace. Peace, it is very important that you travel to each other's country and understand their culture. If we understand Japanese culture, we respect them. Maybe it is different or something. And Japanese, if they come here, they see it, our culture, then they will respect it. So there won't be any fight and like that. So I think every country should visit. Peace is important, and for that, tourism is most important. And cultural relations is person-to-person relations is very important for anything. For any business deal or for a political deal or anything, you need a person-to-person relations. For that, actually, I am also doing one job that I have organized 5 festivals in Japan. Maharaja Festival, Incredible India Festival like that. 5 years I done that. And nowadays, I am organizing Kenichiro Japan in Delhi at Saket Mall. This year it will be going to be the 10th year. Every year, 17th onwards, I am doing it. And I am thankful to her who is supporting that festival. So Nupur is supporting that festival, and every year we organize it. Please come at Saket Mall. It will be in November. Thank you.
Lot of marketing. So Neha, being in tourism, we would love to know what do you think about that, like about the food and all those things. What Markus said. So do you think we should have more vegetarian restaurant, or just people should explore the Japanese culture and Japanese food?
No, I think if you want more Indians coming to Japan, you definitely need to, give them their palate, because Indians don't eat to live, they live to eat. So if you need the Indian customer coming to Japan, if you need the volumes from India, we definitely need to bring about the right kind of food. But also to my Indian counterparts, I'd say that I'd agree with Markus-san that if you are going to a country, no matter what country it is, until and unless you taste their palate, you don't feel their culture. So after traveling 52 countries, I identified that the whole world is on one side and Japan is on one side. So when you're talking about food, I've had days where I've had kaiseki meal, which is like, a 7-course meal, and there's stuff that comes, I don't even know what it is. But, the Japanese culture says that you just eat. You cannot question, oh, I don't like this. Oh, this is not nice, Whereas if you go to an Indian restaurant, you can command, ये आपने अच्छा नहीं बनाया है, इसको थोड़ा तड़का लगा के लाओ, थोड़ा इसको लाल करके लाओ. So it is about the choices that we make, how our cultures are so different. But to answer your question, yes, not just for the India market. The whole world is going vegan now. In order to serve tourists, you need to bring in that option for the tourists. Doesn't mean that you have to dilute the Japan experience for this. That doesn't have to do with that. But yes, food is sensitive to everybody.
Good evening, panelists. I'll keep it short. I run a startup, so which is essentially looking to deliver intelligence systems and devices to India from Japan, Taiwan, not just as a product, but as a long-term capabilities. Yeah. I have a question. I needed a cue from you, a distinguished panelist. So to give you a context, if you see the bilateral trade between Japan and China, and Japan and India, right? So we're talking about 25 billions between Japan and India, and say 10 times, 300 billions approximately between Japan and China. So what is the gap? What is lacking? Is it something structural? Is it something cultural, or beyond that? I appreciate thoughts provided by Mr. Deepak, and about partnership. We face that, right? On SEN and all that. But yeah, just wanted to know your thoughts about this. Thank you.
What is today thought of as the northeast of China was called Manchuria, and the Japanese controlled it from 1905 to 1945. Manchuria used to be the homeland of the Manchus who ruled China. But during the period from 1905 to 1945, the population increased from 5 million to 45 million, and that whole region was developed by the Japanese. It became the most prosperous part of China because the Japanese were essentially in effective control. So it goes back to then. My point in my book is that the only parts of China that are developed today are the parts that Japan ruled. Japan ruled the entire coast. That is where China has industrialized. And so it's a symbiotic relationship that is difficult. It's not a relationship that was friendly. It was often antagonistic. But Japan was deeply invested in China economically for about 80 years before Japan became involved in India. Japan became involved in India essentially with Maruti Suzuki about 75 years after they had already dug deep links to China. So I don't think the two can exactly be compared for this historic reason, apart from the fact that Taiwan was a Japanese colony for 50 years. So Taiwan, if you ask the Taiwanese, they would prefer to be Japanese than Chinese. But anyway, that's the native Taiwanese. But the interesting aspect there is that that relationship goes back a long way, and that is why there is so much more economic engagement between China and Japan than there is yet between India and Japan. So the India-Japan relationship is developing. To your point about Netaji's Subhas and the INA, I completely agree. That's one of the themes of both my books, India Reborn, latest one, and Asia Reborn. I demonstrate that very point, that India got its independence primarily because of the undermining of the loyalty of the British Indian armed forces, which resulted, of course, in exactly 80 years ago in the naval mutiny, as well as the mutiny of the Air Force, inspired by the INA, of course. The ships, by the way, the ships were renamed INNS, Indian National Naval Ships, from HMIS, His or Her Majesty's Indian Ships. So absolutely, there's no doubt. I have no quarrel with that. And in that, we have this historic memory. I think unlike Japan, unlike, say, the People's Republic, the Communist China and Korea, who have an antagonistic memory of the past, India and Japan have a memory of collaboration. The INA, before that, the Ghadar party leader, Rash Bihari Bose, the revolutionary, was given refuge in Japan. So there's a long history of collaboration. of deep engagement between India and Japan. So Yasukuni Shrine has a memorial to Radha Vinod Pal, the Indian judge who gave he was the only, by the way, in that War Crimes Tribunal, the only judge who was trained in international law was Radha Vinod Pal. All the others were hacks. In any case, he gave a judgment clearly saying that there is no basis to convict anybody. Anyway, so he is memorialized in the Yasukuni Shrine. So we have no reason. So India and Japan, therefore, have a natural potential for partnership.
So
to an extent
potential
that
has to be
the rest of Asia
implemented,
doesn't
I
have.
think. The potential we have, which we could not implement in a practical life, I guess, which we have to for the next generation, and when the generation which is actually getting inspired by, Padma Bhushan, Bhargava-san, and there's so many here who everybody is related to India, Japan, everybody is doing, and not only 1 year, like everybody is doing from so many years, 40 years, so, like LUMAX is 40 years, they have been doing with Japan. And Markus-san also, Neha started, and as Professor Basu said, that so historical thing, Toyofuku-san here, he became again vegetarian. So of course there is a lot of potential, but how we can implement that? We are very close, but yet very far, actually. Let me tell you, we are, maybe today you feel that, your IT, only 50,000 Indians are there. Why 50,000 Indians are there? As I said, that there is a calling, maybe. And everybody is not called for or made for Japan. Japan is a very different country. It's not UK or USA. They have their own culture. They are different. They didn't take culture from others. We are colonized. We were colonized by so many power. So we can accept things which they can't. If you just see today's political scenario, what is happening? The different political party, they're saying we want only Japanese. We don't want any labor also, foreign laborers also. We want our robot to work. So there are different kind of things. In Japan is not so simple in a word. It's a spiritually deep. They are not. You will see that they are not spiritual. They are not religious. That they are very deep. The air has that spirit. The soil has its spirit. And being in 7 places in Japan and only with Japanese, and this being often. I'm trained Zen practitioner, actually, by Buddhist monk. I was trained. So I can tell you, it's not like you can kind of conquer Japan just in a day. It's a different story. Japan is a different story, but we are very much connected. We are, and I'm sure the next generation will take it to different level. So thank you so much, all the panelists, for coming and giving your beautiful and very enlightening views. And to honor the panel, we would like to invite General Kulkarni. And General Kulkarni is here, whatever he is, wherever he is. General Kulkarni, you have to come here. When I started it, he was the first person to be in the hall. He said, I'm so happy that you are, giving this, making this happen. So these people really inspire me. And thank you, Deepak ji, thank you, all of them, so for all the support.